And also Dan Thompson with Abby Ham.
Last year, shoppers spent more than $45 billion over Black Friday weekend, and for many people, they did their shopping online. And as you know, there are quite a few people out there looking to buy some stuff for themselves using a credit card. Joining us this morning with some online shopping safety tips is Dan Thompson from Claris Networks. It is Black Friday, but Monday,
right? We've
got Cyber Monday, so
That's
people
right.
are going to be swiping that card virtually all over the place. Talk about some of the things we should keep in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you were saying, Cyber Monday is always a big shopping day, and really even these days, Black Friday, people come home from the shopping stores, they're going to do some online shopping as well. So the question I get asked all the time is what you were alluding to is there a difference between using my credit card and using a debit card when I'm online? And the answer to that is there absolutely is a difference. So one thing, if you're going to use a debit card that you should be aware of, and I think most everybody knows this, but it's a great time of year to recap that, when you use your debit card, the funds come straight out of your checking account. Whereas when you use a credit card, obviously you get a bill for that. So the kickback here is that if you have a problem when you use a debit card, you're already out the cash. Whereas if you have a problem with your credit card, you can call and dispute those charges, and you haven't lost any money out of your account yet. You've got time to deal with that. So other things to be considerate of are credit cards generally have more built-in protection than a debit card does. You'll want to talk to your bank about that though and find the specifics. But that's the big thing to remember is just if you're using a debit card, don't forget those funds are coming right out of your bank account. Also, as an interesting aside, a lot of people think that if I don't use my credit card online, there's no way my credit card will ever get stolen, and that's actually not true. So what a lot of these people are doing when they're stealing credit card numbers, they're actually using a piece of software that just randomly generates those numbers. So they could randomly land on your debit card, unfortunately, or they could randomly land on your credit card. So a lot of that, I hear people all the time say, man, I got my identity stolen. I don't ever use my credit card online. Well, that's how it happens.
Well, tell me how you know a site you're shopping on is secure.
That's a great question. So the telltale sign, if you're using Internet Explorer, look for the little lock in the upper right-hand corner. A lot of the other browsers, you kind of have to look around the edges to see the little lock. But if you're reading the URL across the top, it'll always say HTTPS. And then make sure that, when you're browsing, you're not getting any of these errors like there's something wrong with the certificate or something like that. If you get the big red screen and you're shopping, I would just leave it alone and go to another site.
Interesting. I never even knew HTTPS, so that must mean secure.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it means.
I had no idea. Okay, how about using, when you're at a store or restaurant, you're using their free Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
Is that scary to use that while you're buying?
It is absolutely scary. Yeah, I would never do any transaction over a free Wi-Fi, well, period. I wouldn't log into secure sites. If you want to go on WBIR's website and check out the latest news, that's perfectly fine. But if it's, if you're thinking about doing some shopping, I would go home and do it over your personal internet connection and not use these free connections, because what can happen is there's people out there who are not so nice and they sit in these coffee shops and they can hijack this information that you're sending over the line. They can see things like credit card numbers, account numbers, and things like that. So I would always stay away from free coffee shops when you're doing important transactions.
I had no idea.
Yep.
Sit in your living room, folks.
That's right.
That's the glory of Cyber Mondays. You can do all this shopping from your living room.
I know, in your pajamas.
Yeah, I love that. All right, yeah, and at work. Work is safe?
Not so much.
Okay. Well, there you go. No shopping at work. That's no fun. All right, we're coming right back with more news after this.